Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the GTA 6 podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Somehotcookies, and of course, my co-host is here to join me again, discovering Pandora, or Gerry. How you doing today, Gerry?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Happy to be in episode 3. We're slowly racking these up.
Yup, and along with racking up the episodes for the podcast, we're also racking up some new crazy lunatic theories for GTA 6, and of course, some actual news that we can talk about, confirmed over from Rockstar and Take-Two themselves. So we have a lot to cover here today. We're going to be covering the Take-Two earnings that happened through their earnings call. I believe it was November 6th. Then we're going to be talking about the popular theory, which we're going to be finding out if it's actually true or not tomorrow on November 22nd, where everyone's been theorizing and going crazy over the moon. Shout out to Ozzy Osbourne. And of course, if you guys have been paying attention to my channel, we've got another theory that I've personally cooked up alongside TGG having his own take on that said theory as well. So we're going to break into all that and more here today. Of course, I just wanted to do a quick shout out over to our new partnership, not really partnership, but we're over there on Spotify. So if you guys want to listen in somewhere different from YouTube, Spotify is a new place. Make sure to go ahead, check us out over there if you like listening better. But without further ado, let's go right in to the Take-Two earnings report. Now, Gerry, there were a couple of things that were very interesting to take away from this. Obviously, the big one we're going to touch on later. But for those that don't know, maybe a soft tease to Xbox Series S running the GTA 6 on that console. What are your initial thoughts on that, Gerry?
I mean, I guess I wouldn't have thought it would be possible since they have been struggling to adapt a lot of games to the Xbox Series S. That I was like, well, if anything, it might just be Series X. But I mean, the fact that you said they kind of tease that no matter the platform, their team can kind of put it together to make it run. So I guess good for Xbox fans that it seems like if you have a Series S, you won't be locked out of it. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing for the general consumer and maybe more copies of the game being sold for sure. Just because, if you guys don't know, the Xbox Series S is the lower priced price point entry for the Xbox series of consoles. I think even on Black Friday, I've seen it go, which is right around the corner even. I've seen it go for as low as like $200, I believe, with some bundles and shops and stuff. So really, it is the go-to gift for like maybe like a grandparent getting their grandkid a console that they've been wanting, or something along those lines, where like, hey, I don't want to break the bank, but I still do want to get them that console that they've been asking about and asking Santa all year long. You know what I'm saying? So it is good for the general consumer, and I would even say, even though it's not meant for them, the teenagers and kids that want to get into GTA 6, right? But my fear is this gonna be like a performance just hellhole for anyone that runs it on the S? I mean, yeah, they said like they tried to reaffirm us and saying like we can make it run no matter what. But is this going to be like a 30 frames that dips constantly, is locked to 30 and just doesn't even perform well? That's one of my real like issues when I hear like, hey, GTA 6 and Xbox Series S in the same sentence,
Yeah, you got to expect that, or at least what I would want. In a way, it's kind of bad to say, but I'd rather that be the trade-off than everybody else have to suffer by a downgraded game in general. Like it not reaching the potential it can just because you want to put it on the Series S. I would rather it be like you can play it on the Series S, but it comes with the asterisk. Like, just know that this is not, in a similar vein, it took a long time for Hogwarts Legacy, I believe it was called. It took a long time for that to come to the Switch, but it did. And that was only, a recent console exclusive, PS5, Xbox Series X, Series S. But for it to run on the Switch, which just seems like it's a whole generation behind, but they actually got it to run. It's not the best thing, but I guess it's one of those conscious things that you're like, well, this is the system I do play, So I understand that it's not gonna perform as well as the other ones, but it's kind of like the sacrifice I have to make in order to play this if I really want to on this system.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'd rather that be the trade-off.
Yeah, and I kind of, when you were saying and comparing it to Hogwarts Legacy, that kind of reminded me of what we saw with Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, it came out for
Hmm.
every console, I think even including the Switch, and everyone was making fun of how bad it performed. I mean, the quality looked like 720p at best,
Yeah.
and it was, oh man, it was a performance mess. But like you said, even though, you got to play it in that terrible state, at the very least you got to play a game that you liked one way or another if you're locked to just owning a Nintendo Switch and not wanting to go out there and spend like $400. So yeah, I think I gotta agree with you. Like, as long as they can play it, even with some problems, I think that's a win for the Xbox Series S community. But I would hate for the game itself to be unoptimized, just so that it could be optimized for a lower tiered console like the
Yeah,
Series
exactly.
S. Like, honestly, if it was me making this game, I mean, and it's obviously not, but if it was me, I'd be like, this has to be like a next gen only title. Like, I would restrict it to Xbox Series X, PC, and PlayStation 5, and I would just make this look as beautiful as possible. I mean, it looks like they already kind of did, but we're just gonna have to see how that affects the performance on the Series S. And if I am right, and maybe they're locked at 30, and then it just dips below 30 as they're like rendering the map or the NPCs around them and stuff like that. I mean, time only can tell how it's going to run on the Series S, but if they do end up putting it on those consoles, as it did kind of get teased there in the Take-Two earnings call through a investor's question, then I think at the very least, they should be happy that they're getting the game on the Series S, the console that they have at the time. Another big thing that we did get from this Take-Two earnings call, as most people already know, Grand Theft Auto 6 was reconfirmed to have a fall release date for 2025. Initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, good, because I don't want to wait uh any longer for a possible delay into 2026. It's still possible, of course, because this is just coming from the parent company Take Two. It's not really Rockstar themselves, so they'll obviously make the final call. But I mean, at least progress to what their knowledge is at the moment seems like everything's going to be ready to go for fall 2025, which is good. I think it was back in May or something earlier this year where they first kind of stated or hinted at a fall 2025 release for the game. So it's good that this many months later, that still seems to be the case. So unless something completely unexpected happens, it does seem like that's when we're gonna get it, which is gonna make 2025 a crazy year when you add every other game releasing as well.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you touched on it. Not only just GTA 6 in general, but we're getting an insane repertoire of games actually being released after what I would say is a quiet year in 2024, all things considered. And not even just from other developers. I mean, Take Two themselves have 3 AAA game blockbusters all releasing in 2026. We've got Mafia the Old Country, we've got Borderlands 4 apparently, and we've got Grand Theft Auto 6, which I think I just mentioned twice. That's how big it is. I had to mention it twice in the same sentence. And they did confirm in the Take-Two's earnings call as well that all of these games are going to have their own space and time to breathe too. Like, they're not going to be like, yeah, we're going to release 2 of them in September, maybe a week apart, and then the other one's going to be in like June. No, they said they're all going to get their own time and like basically way to rack up as much sales as possible as long as their planning goes for their game releases. So really that calls into question when some of these games are going to release. I believe Borderlands 4 doesn't have a release window yet. Mafia the Old Country doesn't have one yet either. I think we're going to get a full-on release date during the Game Awards. That would be my assumption. And then obviously Grand Theft Auto 6, who everyone's still theorizing about when that could be within that fall window. So yeah, I mean, a lot of big news coming out from this Take-Two earnings. Any final thoughts on the earnings call altogether?
The biggest takeaway that I'm happy about is the reconfirmation of the expected date for the fall. Like you said, it is crazy they have 3 tentpole games in the same year. I would hope Mafia kind of takes up the summer slot.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, like you said, Borderlands 4. I don't know where to fit because it would be great to basically have like a spring title, a summer, and then a fall. That would work perfectly. But I don't know how far along Borderlands seems. So I don't know if spring is a little too early. As long as, like you said, they have the proper breathing room, at least a couple months in between. But yeah, a Mafia for the summer would be great to kind of have us, because that's one I do want to dive into. Because yeah, once GTA 6 drops, there's going to be time for almost no other game because everybody's going to be pretty much occupied with this. So yeah, biggest takeaway. Glad they reconfirmed it, and I'm also really excited for Mafia next year.
Hmm. And speaking of reconfirming Grand Theft Auto 6, if it is truly confirmed to be like actually coming out fall 2025 from them themselves, right? You would expect their marketing campaign to pick up sometime soon, which leads us to our next topic being the crazy moon theory. Ladies and gentlemen, November 26th or 22nd is tomorrow. We are recording this on the 21st. Hopefully we'll be having the episode out by tonight. But this is a picture here from, I believe it was Reddit, and this basically, the left side sums up the initial teaser that pointed to when they released information about trailer 1. So if you look on the top left, there was a community post that everyone was losing their mind about at the time for Grand Theft Auto Online. The VI on the left side from Vinewood made 6. People were looking at the moon. They saw the moon was in a certain phase, which happened on December 1st. And if you guys recall, December 1st is when we actually got the announcement from Rockstar's official Twitter that the first trailer would be premiering on December the 5th at 9 a.m. later on in the week. So, because of these similar things happening through a community post for Grand Theft Auto Online, we have recently, as a community, tied this to another moon theory happening here for Grand Theft Auto 6 almost a full year later. Recently, they came out with a community post teasing their newest operations or businesses that they're going to be introducing in a December patch. In it, you see this guy who's, as the picture shows, stanced up almost exactly as Jason is from the Grand Theft Auto 6 cover art. From there, they of course look to none other than the moon, which is supposed to be in this waning gibbous state, as it states, that is going to happen tomorrow on the 22nd. So everybody and their mother is waiting for tomorrow to confirm if this theory is in fact true or not true for us getting an announcement for Grand Theft Auto 6. Gerry, I know I just laid this out like an actual just like drug fiend or something trying to explain when we're going to get the next announcement. But what do you think about what I just laid out to you?
First of all, it seems like the fandom is just trying to grasp at anything. We're now looking at it's just insane. Is it believable? I mean, Rockstar has been known, like you said, the very first one, like you put there last year, it did kind of pan out. Is that what they're teasing this time? I don't know. And like you said, what they ended up doing on December 1st was actually just announcing that the trailer would then come December 5th. So if anybody's actually expecting the trailer tomorrow, that's going to be disappointed. If anything, it's going to be, like you said, an announcement of when the trailer will actually come. So you got more waiting, more moon cycles. But then now, really looking at it, I mean, at least to me, does that look similar? Yes, but the moon doesn't actually look exactly the same as that waning gibbous image. Like if you the shadow to me doesn't look exactly the same. And I was trying to see on the other little image you have here, like if it looks similar to another one. But I mean, if that's the closest one to it, do I actually think this is gonna happen? I mean, not really. But hey, I would love to be proven wrong.
Do you have a percentage? Do you have like a like a 20, a 30? What are you thinking?
I'll give it a 60% that yes, but it's gonna be a 40%. 60%. Yes, you convinced me of more than 50%, but not a full to go up to like a 70 or 80. What about you?
Okay, look, I mean, like, I love crackpot theories. You guys are going to know how much I love crackpot theories in a couple of minutes. But I think to me, the most compelling part of this isn't like, oh, they followed the moon before, there's another moon call out, you know. That's not the most convincing. I think the most convincing to me is actually the Jason pose on the car. Um, I don't know. I just feel like it's too. I don't want to say one for one, but like it's too on the nose, right? Like
Yeah,
having him doing the exact same pose, and it's not
yeah,
like poses are something that you can just freely do in Grand Theft Auto Online. At least to my knowledge, I haven't played it like super in depth. I've hopped on for the Vespucci job with a couple of friends to play. Like it's really fun playing that game mode with them. But we don't really do like free roam all too often or anything anymore. But like from what I remember and from what I know, I don't think you can just pose up on a car like this. So unless they're like introducing these poses in the update, I don't see why he would be posed one for one as Jason here. And that's why I think it's like the most. I think that's the most compelling evidence to me. It's not the moon. It's
yeah,
not that they've done this before. It's the pose. Like, why is he striking
yeah,
that exact same pose on it? And you know, I wouldn't say that them adding the pose in the update is 100% not like out of the question because I do feel like they're using GTA Online to improve GTA 6 as much as they can. I think the most blatant evidence of that was introducing animals into the online, like the wildlife into GTA Online, like deer and stuff like
yeah.
that, because
Yep.
I think that's them kind of testing the waters, like what can we do and how can this old tech take animals and how can we apply that to what we're trying to do with Grand Theft Auto 6 Online. You know, so I do think that you know maybe they do add the pose, and it's just me saying a lot of nothing. But I think just because of the pose, that really convinces me. And I also think Rockstar is a company that they kind of like feeding into the fandom. Like I think that's why the first release even happened. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think when they were making this community post, they were like, "Yes, we are planning this 6 here from Vinewood. The moon is right there in this state, and we're gonna release our announcement then." I think the community made it something that was so big, and like every major news outlet was covering. Like I think at the time I saw like IGN, Games Radar, you know, all these big news companies for gaming, all these journalism spots. I think they all covered this, and then Rockstar just kind of ran with it, and they were like, you know what, guys, the moon was an
Yeah,
indicator.
that's
You
what I
know.
was just. Yeah, exactly. No, that's funny that you mentioned. Yeah, exactly. It's like how much is it? First, the fandom kind of like finds some type of supposed hidden message that they eventually are like, you know what? Let's just run with that. It
Mm-hmm.
makes us seem like we really did plan this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then again, that just kind of feeds into this one. Like everyone's blowing this one up. Do they now see this opportunity to dive on in once again? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just really only time will tell. And I would say we probably have less than 24 hours until we find out. Unless we gotta actually wait for the waning gibbous to be in the in the sky in real life, then maybe we have like 28 hours. But
Jeez.
I don't know. I mean, I would if I had to personally put a percentage on this, I would say I'm at a 70%. I'm at a
All
70% that
right.
I think this will happen. I think there is a really strong chance. I think because of the community blowing up, because of the Jason pose that I mentioned before, because they've been starving us of any information of the game, I think they're going to be like, you know what? We have to start our marketing campaign too. We have to do something. The game is releasing fall, at least, from what we know. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and start teasing them with a nice little tidbit of what they can expect. And if you had to put a date on it, what do you think? Like another 5-day wait, or waiting till the weekend so everybody can watch the trailer? What are you thinking?
I would say right after the holiday, kind of like they did last year, because even though it will stand out, even if the holiday's going on, um, I would assume they would also wait till the first days of December and kind of make it that calendar year wait, in between trailers, kind of like they did with first two trailers for GTA 5.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, if I had to think when the trailer, like let's just say the trailer gets announced tomorrow, what the day for the trailer will actually be, I'm thinking let me pull up the calendar real quick. I don't want to say something wrong here. So, I would probably say the 30th of November sounds really good. And
Yeah,
then
at
the
least Japan's
entire
holiday.
first week of December. I think that entire like week line is really good. And it's before the Game Awards, just like it was last year. I believe
Yeah,
the Game Awards last year was on the 10th, 9th. I could be wrong. But I know it came out before then. So the Game Awards this year is on the 12th. So if it came out like on the 1st to the 7th, it would still be on a 1 week track before the Game Awards. So I
yeah.
think it's a very high possibility it comes out in those days.
Well, I guess we'll see, like you said, within at least 24 to 28 hours. And, hopefully, we get some posts. Like I said, hopefully people are not expecting the actual trailer. Just expect maybe a post like this of when to actually stay tuned for the real trailer. So it'll
I
give
mean,
you
that
something.
alone is going to
Yeah,
be great. Yeah, that alone is going to have people so hyped.
exactly. That'll get you through the holiday. You'll be like itching for it to be over and be like, all right, it's GTA time. Yeah, and then that they give it their own time. Like I like that they don't, it's not self in a little bit selfishly, but I mean like, they don't need to share the spotlight with the Game Awards in order to get eyes on it. They kind of know they're their own thing, so it's gonna be huge just dropping it for themselves a week before the Game Awards. So
Mhm.
I like that.
All right, and then staying on the topic of theories, guys. If you've been watching the channel, y'all already know where I'm going with this one. But like I mentioned, TGG had his own theory where he retouched on this shirt. Let's give you like a brief synopsis of what this is, and then we'll go into the theory that I have. All right. So essentially, I believe it was like a year or two ago, before the first trailer released for Grand Theft Auto 6, we got this shirt that's appearing on your screen called question mark question mark question mark mysteriously appearing on Grand Theft Auto Online. It was taken down after a little bit and then later made available through I think an in-game like event or something where you could actually earn this T-shirt. Now it's earned in like a completely different way. I think you get abducted by a UFO and then you're in like a bunker. You got to solve this puzzle. Um, but either way, this shirt, when put, it has number sequences all around the corners. They repeat after every corner, so it's not like you're getting a new number sequence. That number sequence is what you're seeing at the top of what's being shown above the shirt right now. Now, people were theorizing what could this numbers mean? What's going on here? Well, when you plug this number sequence into an A1Z26 cipher, which just means that you're applying a number to every letter. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, etc., etc. This lists out to spelling one day will reveal all. So everyone pretty much calls this the one day will reveal all t-shirt. And because of the mysterious messaging behind the number sequence and just being a cryptic shirt altogether, people were wondering what they were referencing. Could it be the Infinity Killer mystery that's in GTA 5 and online? Could it be the Mount Chiliad mystery that people have been trying to break since the game's inception? What's going on? And then if you look at the number sequence, towards the middle after 5040, you get a number sequence that is 1252309. And if you look real closely and you remember what happened when the announcement happened for the first trailer, it lines up seamlessly. 12 being December, 5 being the day that the actual trailer was supposed to be planned for, and 9 a.m. being the time that trailer 1 was supposed to release. So people were theorizing that this shirt was basically teasing it all along, that the trailer was always hidden in here. And so popular content creator TGG for Grand Theft Auto content, he recently went to the theory of breaking down the moon theory, which we just broke down here for you guys as well. And he also has another corresponding theory that if it's not that and it's not in line with the moon, maybe we'll go ahead and get something from the number sequence right before the 12/5/2309, which is 04/01/25, leading to April 1st, 2025. We do know that that is the day that the earnings call or the fiscal year starts for Take-Two Interactive again, as it ends on March 31st. And then we also know that it is, one of the dates here that's kind of outlined if we take it as a date. And then I was kind of thinking, well, what else can line up for like a possible date within this shirt? In this theory, I break it down more vigorously in the video, but in simple terms, flip this number sequence backwards, and we get the numbers here 05, 02, 25, 08, which could be May 2nd, 25 at 8 a.m., which could be in line for a trailer release, because as we saw for the first trailer, it was supposed to be released at 9 a.m. before it got leaked and their hand got forced and they had to put it out early. And then if you keep going down the line with the number still flipped backwards, we get 9/03/25, which is September 3rd, 2025. And if we use the meteorological way of discerning, seasons and throughout the year, fall starts in September 1st. So technically, this could even be a release date, if not a trailer date, because it would fall in line with a fall time frame. Now, Gerry, I know that I just lost you somewhere in there, but what do you think of everything that I just put out for you?
I mean, I would say, especially like you said, with the encrypted message in there, like if we deciphered it, one day we'll reveal all, and they technically, if they had a date, it was the one for December 5th of 2023. I think that was probably in there, and that was the day they were hinting at. One day we'll reveal all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they implemented anything for like a trailer 2 or a possible release date. Maybe those just happened by happenstance that there was like other sequences in there. So I'm less convinced on this one than I am about the moon theory.
Mm-hmm.
This is down to like the 40 or 30%, probably 20. But another date you can pull from that's not April 1st is if you actually, because a lot of European countries, they don't list the month first. They list the day and then the month. So that could be January 4th, 2025, which could, early January and for your next trailer and still have a release in the fall does still make sense. Whereas April to me just seems a little too late. It's not late, but it compared to how much time they like putting into their marketing in between things. From April to September, it's not that much of a time gap. But
Mm-hmm.
January seems if you're not going to do it in December, I would say maybe early January makes sense as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying, I think if anything, this was maybe for last year's date, and that's what also the message was about. But I do like your theory if you flip it with the September, because I do think that a September release date is actually very possible. GTA 5 also released in September. You had mentioned also a lot of their other games were actually October, but pretty much that September October timeframe seems like when we could expect the game for the fall release.
Yeah, I mean, even if like these series don't pan out, which I would say, even if that I myself made the flip it backwards, find May 2nd, find September 3rd, right? I even myself would say like it's probably like a 40% that it's possible that it pans out, but I'm still hanging on hope. I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for those dates for sure. But as you mentioned, with the fall time frame, I'm definitely expecting like a September, October release date. And I don't even think it's going to be late in those months either. I think it would probably be like at the latest, like mid to late September, maybe if it's not that September 3rd date. And then I'm thinking like the first or second week of October, if it is falling under the October umbrella, over for a release date. Either way, I think it is going to be like, wow, like when we enter 2025 and we're just like, wow, we're actually in the year of GTA 6. Like that's going to be insane once that marketing campaign starts picking up. I mean, we're going to get trailers up the waz. We're going to go ahead and probably get screenshots. We just saw that they had the screenshot person get hired recently because the job listing got taken down. I mean, we're going to be eating good finally. And now all these little crackpot theories can hit the wayside and we can actually get some actual news on Grand Theft Auto 6, which is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see this next look at the game. I do expect us to get it within, like you said, the end of this month or early December. I still am holding on to that. That way it's like the year difference, just like they did with GTA 5 if they're following their own marketing strategy. So yeah, man, I'm expected to see that by the end of this year, and can't wait to see any more footage of this game. The first one is still like a mind blowing trailer. If that's really the quality, that they're delivering. So I can't wait to see any more of it.
Yeah, and then like one thing I'm really hoping that I mean, real quick, I do want to touch on this before we end off the episode. What do you think trailer 2 will actually show? Like, my thing is, I I don't really touch on it often because it's been so long gone, and like you kind for me, it's like nowadays I play a story once and I'm kind of okay. Like I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best stories I've played in a very long time, and I have only played that story once, but I'm satisfied with knowing everything about the plot.
Yeah.
But I'm very much looking forward to the plot of Grand Theft Auto 6. Like very much so. Like I don't know what direction they're going to take it in. I don't know if we're actually going to get a third protagonist, maybe the Vice City Palm Cut guy. I'm hoping that he might be a big deal and the theory pans out on that front. But yeah, I'm just like what would you want to see from trailer 2?
More emphasis on the story, and then at the very end, a quick tease of what this next iteration of the GTA Online could look like. And I believe that was the pretty much the blueprint for the second trailer of GTA 5, if I'm not mistaken. It was more of a story trailer where you basically got a real sense of, okay, it seems like this is kind of the hint of the story. And I think that's when we got the showcase of maybe the three protagonists, and then it ended with like a couple shots or a one shot of a tease of GTA Online, where I believe it was like a jet kind of just flying through the city, and you kind of saw other players around, I believe, something like that. That would be good. Like you said, I'm really interested in the story. Even if we only play it once, at least we know that it doesn't mean that we're done with this world, because they're still supporting GTA 5. So we know the support is going to be there for GTA 6. Sadly, it wasn't really there for Red Dead Redemption 2 for us to just continue to be invested in playing that online or what have you. But this one, we know they will. This is their bread and butter at the moment. So I'm excited to see more hints at the story, and then a little tease of GTA Online at the end. What about you?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to basically getting to with my leading up with. I love Red Dead 2. I only played GTA once, GTA 5 once, but I still love the story. Like I definitely want to see more story elements in this trailer. I want to hear Lucia and Jason talking back and forth, like maybe like some in-game dialogue teasing of what's going on. Like something vague, ambiguous, not like directly telling me, but being like, oh, we got to have each other's backs or something. And there's like climactic moments on the screen, like maybe they're robbing like a gas station together or something. Maybe they're running from the cops. Maybe there's a story scene playing out of like we kind of hypothesized before, maybe Lucia's trying to be an influencer. Maybe she's doing like some influencer side quest or something, and it just kind of gives us a tease and a look at what we can expect of the story, but also the world. Kind of a little bit in the same vein of trailer 1, where it kind of just gives you like random scenes that are like the world kind of playing out as it's going to, even without your insertion. I would love to see some more of that. I would love to see some story teases. And I think I would personally want to see GTA Online have its own thing closer to release. Like, if it is going to release with the game, I'd like GTA Online to have its full trailer. I wouldn't want it to be teased right now. And then if it is going to be like a delayed release, kind of like it was with Grand Theft Auto 5, then give it a trailer after the game comes out. I'm sure everyone will eat that up for sure. And then just kind of showcase what we can do in the open world, what kind of missions we can expect, and all that kind of stuff. And I'd be very satisfied with something along those lines.
Yeah, that's actually good. That's actually better. Just completely keep this one focused on the main, the base game, the main story, and then separately have another one for that. And it's also because it reflects on, for GTA 5, how they didn't expect the online to blow up like it did, which is why that kind of justified, oh, let's just sneak like one little scene or whatever at the end of this one to kind of tease it. But like you said, now that we know the extent of how big that's going to be on its own and how they're going to support it, you're right. Closer to release, give us a full trailer just for that. And right now, like you said, keep it at those two characters we know, and maybe tease what more of this story could be. So
I
yeah,
also
there you
would
go.
love
I
to
like that.
see one confirmed side character. Sorry, I had to add that in there. Like one, like he's not a main guy, but he's someone maybe you go to for missions. Maybe they finally reveal what T-Pain broke his NDA for, and they show like T-Pain's character or something. Like I would love to see like a confirmed side character. We're gonna see them in the world. Maybe they interact with Jason and Lucia in the trailer, and it's like very apparent that he's giving them a mission to do or something. I would love
Yeah,
to see something like that. Sorry, I had to add that in there. I want to see at least one cool side character, I think.
exactly. I mean, and they have something to live up to because GTA 5 had Franklin's Lamar.
Lamar was a great addition.
He was
Lester
both
was
like,
funny.
yeah,
Great cast that we had there. I mean, even I didn't like them too much, but for the characters that they were good. The guys who tagged along with Trevor, like the two guys that were like
oh
always at his house in Sandy Shores, and then also his cousin that's in Los Santos, like that little story that he has, like him and his wife, and then Trevor comes along and the wife hates him and all that. So I think
yeah,
like those side characters are really good. And then obviously Michael with his family. I mean, I don't think you could write a better dysfunctional family than
yeah.
that one. So I think they do like a really good job of portraying side characters, and I would love to get a tease at what's to come for Jason and Lucia in terms of what we can expect for side characters, side missions, or maybe even a Strangers and Freaks. But I would like a more like staple guy, like, hey, this is a guy that you're going to see all the way up to the end of the
Yeah,
story,
like a
maybe. Mm.
recurring side character. Yeah.
My money's on Vice City Cut. He's gotta be he's gotta be
Oh
something,
god.
bro. I'll tell you, I'm not gonna drop it. Vice City Cut has to be either like a third protagonist, main side character, something, bro. It has to happen. It has to.
It could be, and who knows? Maybe that is the voice that you were talking about for T Pain. Who knows?
Maybe. Maybe it is. All right. Do you have anything you want to cover or anything before we end off this episode?
No, I think we kind of touched on it all, but yeah, just reiterating, excited to see if we do get something, after this Thanksgiving holiday. I'm really crossing my fingers, and I guess we'll just wait and see.
Mark your calendars. Make sure to go ahead and, you know, do what you need to do. Wait for the moon to come out or something. I don't know, but hopefully
God.
we do get an announcement of GTA 6 tomorrow, man. I am super excited, just like I'm sure the rest of the community is. I'm ready to get let down, but at the same time, I'm ready to get lifted up with a trailer announcement. I really am, truly. Like I think it is possible. I genuinely do think tomorrow could be a big announcement. And if so, we might be right back here sooner than we thought with another episode of the GTA 6
Yeah.
podcast. But that about wraps up today's episode. Real quick, again, shout out to where you can find us on. You can find us here on my channel on YouTube at Somehotcookies. You can find us over on Spotify now. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, type in GTA 6 podcast. We're like one of the first results. Make sure to listen in over there if you like listening more. Rate us 5 stars if you would. Make sure to subscribe for more additional podcast content like this, more GTA 6 coverage in general. And you can find us all across these social medias that are listed on screen, being Twitter or X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Of course, my handle's at Somehotcookies. And Gerry, go ahead and plug your stuff if you would please.
Yep, you can find me at Discovering Pandora across all social media platforms, Instagram, X, and here on YouTube. And yeah, that's it from us.
All right, guys. And of course, as always, had a fantastic time. I hope you guys did as well. If you guys have any theories, any input, do you guys think we're going to see a trailer or announcement of any sort tomorrow? Let us know your opinions down in the comments section below. But until next time, guys, that's enough from us. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Later.